Hey guys, it's Bacon. I'm here to do a review for the movie Infinity Pool. I saw this last week, so it's just kind of been sitting there, to be honest with you. This is the third movie by Brandon Cronenberg, if you didn't know. Um, his first two movies, first one being Antiviral, made around the early 2010s, and then Possessor, made in 2019, 2020, leading up to this. So Brandon Cronenberg is the son of David Cronenberg. If you don't know who he is, he directed movies like The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. He did The Brood, History of Violence, most recently, and Eastern Promises, Cosmopolis with Robert Pattinson. He kind of goes all around. Like actually, he's very. I would say he's kind of a like a different, like he does different things, and I really admire that about him. Like he's not all just about gore and like gratuitous things. He'll like kind of slow down and do a little bit of other stuff, and that's really nice. For his father to be that way. His son, who I'm talking about right now, his movie Infinity Pool, Brandon Cronenberg, he kind of has I'm starting to see a pattern with his movies. All of them so far have been satire, where his first movie, Antiviral, was kind of about the obsession over celebrities, and it goes in a very extreme lengths to the point where you can like eat uh, uh, like the meat of the celebrity made by taking their DNA or something. Like it goes fucking it goes out there. Like his movies are very weird because they're very detailed. They're very much linked into sci-fi, because that's the way that he's able to introduce his concepts to you because they're very abstract. And obviously, all of us human beings, we see as the future as being a very abstract thing because it's something that hasn't happened yet. So I think that's where he kind of gets the strengths out of writing his scripts. And Infinity Pool is no different. It's about Alexander Skarsgård. He plays a writer who ends up at a resort with his wife. Not that he ends up there, but he's there to try to get inspiration for a new book. That's what he's trying to do. You kind of get introduced to him. He's somewhat kind of a pathetic character. He kind of married into his money. Really doesn't have anything compelling about him, to be honest, or very interesting. But it's not against the effect of the movie. It's actually to the movie's credit because they're trying to establish something about this character. Um, and in comes in Mia Goth's character, and she spices things up a little bit because she gets his attention. They kind of build a little bit of a very inappropriate relationship because him being married and whatnot. And you get introduced to the concept of rich people living in resorts of these impoverished countries and them taking the advantage that they do, living in these places and not making it better for the people that actually live there. And that's what this movie makes a satire out of. Like it shows you it in an exaggerating way, as Brandon Cronenberg is doing. As I'm saying, he has a pattern in making these movies, and the exaggeration is that Alexander Skarsgård's character, he kills someone by accident. He's driving with the main character, the other characters of the film, and he crashes into somebody, and he's being told that he's given no choice but to have to run away from the situation. So he does, leaves a dead body. The country figures out, and they tell him, "Hey, listen, if you commit murder in this country, you're to be executed, and that's what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get killed. Like, there's no way out of this. You're not just gonna walk away. Like, that's not how we do things here." But what he learns is that if you're rich enough, you're able to make a clone of yourself that has all your memories and is you. It's basically you, and you can watch yourself be executed. You can have that luxury of watching yourself be executed, and you can do that as many times as you want, as long as you have power and money. And that's what this movie does. And it sounds really crazy. And it also sounds like something like, how the fuck would I why would I want to watch anything like that? And how the fuck do you make something like that and make it make sense? And I'm gonna be honest with you, Brandon does that. Like he shows you it, he makes it cohesive enough, and he makes it interesting enough for you to want to stay the whole movie. I was not bored the entire time. I was really, really invested into it because it comes to a point where Alexander Skarsgård's character becomes so emaciated with that life. Like he loves the life of being able to do whatever he wants. He becomes barbaric. He becomes completely different from what he was introduced to in the beginning of the movie, and the transformation of it I thought was very compelling. Like not very compelling, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna bring up the negative points to this movie in a minute, but um, it's really interesting. Like, and I think when I'm gonna come into the negative point of this movie is that's kind of the end of it for me. The movie is just interesting. It's not it's not compelling. It's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna watch this again. I did kind of want to watch it again because it was very weird, and there were some like there is a lot of very very interesting and masterful filmmaking in this movie. The choices of cinema, like the choices, excuse me, the choices Brandon Cronenberg did with his cinematography is really interesting. There's a scene when Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård's characters, they're both having a very intimate dialogue, and it's like really, it's kind of sexy, right? Like how you would see in a lot of movies where they put a lot of close-ups into the celebrities. But what Brandon Cronenberg does is he closes up so much that you're able to see like the little tiny details into the facial features of the characters. Like he really closes up into their lips, Mia Goth's and Alexander's character, and it's like you can see the chappiness of their lips, or like when you see their eyes, you can see the little like specks and things that are in their face, and it's like these imperfections, but at the same time is the things that we see when we're intimate with people. And I think that he did a really amazing job in being able to establish those shots and actually put meaning into them, and he's really talented and very much good at doing that. And I think that's what really makes him stand out as a filmmaker is just the directorial choices he makes. Even if the movie might not be as interesting or as disinteresting as I thought this movie was, I thought that the decisions he made with the cinematography was absolutely great. The script is great. To me, unfortunately, I just think that the movie just kind of falls short of just being interesting, and it did not wow me in the way that I guess I was expecting to. Maybe my expectations were too high because I love this filmmaker. But that's just to say that this isn't my favorite movie of his. In fact, it's my least favorite, but it's not a bad movie. It's actually a really good movie that I think people should check out. Especially if you're into horror films or like science fiction or like very obscure, like not obscure, but very abstract movies, you should watch something like this and you should look into them. Like, I guess if you're like a fan of like people like, I guess Charlie Kaufman or Spike Jones, people that make things off the wall. Check out Brandon Cronenberg, man. I'm telling you, like you'll really like it. Like you can download it once it comes out on streaming or rent. You can rent if you want when it comes out, or you can watch it in the theater. I think you'll have just a good enough time. I just warn you, don't just bring a date to this movie. This movie's very fucking crazy. It has very high amount of like epileptic type shit. Like if you have epilepsy, don't watch this movie because it really gets very staticky at a certain point at certain points. But yeah, like I said, the good things about this movie is that it has very good filmmaking, very good acting, amazing lighting, and just all around really beautiful and very solid film. But at the same time, it just kind of falls short, despite all this. It's all of its ambitious attempts. I'm gonna give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. I didn't dislike this movie. I really actually very much like it. It's just it could have been more. I felt like it could have probably been more, but maybe I'm just asking a little bit too much from this filmmaker. I think he did absolutely everything that he could have done. It's just I think he can do way better. And we'll just wait in the future to see if he has more stuff to offer us, and I really hope he does. Um, Let me know what you thought about the movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment down below. If you like this video, please press a like, subscribe. I love you guys.